Hi Fat fans, welcome back again to another episode of the African Fighters. And on today's episode, we'll be bringing you a roundup of everything happening in the world of combat sports. Stay with us. Alright, UFC 287 just went down, and in the main event, Israel Adesanya finally exercised his demons against Alex Pereira on Saturday, beating him with an insane second round knockout to recapture the middleweight title. For Adesanya, it really doesn't get any bigger than this, scoring a win like this against his personal bogeyman to become a two-time middleweight champion and cement his legacy as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, of all time.
3 and what? 3 minus 1 is 2. That's two-time UFC middleweight champ. Rascals.
Alright, now Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal have been involved in the war of words for a very long time. Colby Covington thinks he was responsible for Jorge Masvidal calling it a career at UFC 287. Masvidal hung up his gloves after a decision loss to Gilbert Burns this past Saturday in the co-main event at the Kaseya Center in Miami. The loss to Burns marked the fourth straight for Gamebred, who said he no longer feels the same way when he is in the cage. If I want to give my honest take, he was retired after I beat him, said Covington during an interview with Submission Radio. He's a broken man. There's a reason he came out and did what he did to me in the streets like a clown. There's no pride in that guy. He just didn't want to live the rest of his life knowing that he retired of getting beat by me. So of course, he's going to come out and lose to somebody else in the division because he didn't want that to be hung over his head for the rest of his life. But honestly, I believe I retired Jorge Street Judas last year in 2022 at the T-Mobile Arena. The war between these two continues even after Masvidal has retired. Alright, now Amanda Nunes is set to run things back once again with Juliana Pena. The UFC will make its return to Canada this coming summer on June 10 in Vancouver. Currently set to headline the event will be Bantamweight title trilogy between the champion and former champion. Nunes in an interview with ESPN said, "I always say I leave it to what UFC decides. I'm ready, I have been training, I'm healthy. So whatever UFC wants to do, I am ready."
Tender. I thought it's gonna be her. And everything changed, and Juliana, and then I was okay with it too. No matter what, whatever UFC show me, the opponent, I'm gonna, be happy to defend my belt.
Aldana was previously linked to a potential title shot earlier than UFC 289, but discussions were premature as nothing came to fruition. Alright, now UFC 287 storyline in the co-main event was about Jorge Masvidal wanting to leapfrog Covington to a title shot with an impressive win over Gilbert Burns. Masvidal instead lost and announced his retirement. Gamebred and champion Leon Edwards have history. Masvidal and Edwards were involved in a backstage scuffle after Masvidal defeated Darren Till in UFC Fight Night 147 at the main event.
Hey, come over here, say it in my face, bro.
The bad blood between the two would be enough to market the fight, and UFC president Dana White said that he believed the bout between Masvidal and Edwards would have been massive had Masvidal defeated Burns and Edwards went on to defeat Covington. Masvidal and Edwards would have been lined up, but Masvidal didn't win. Instead, he retired after the loss to Burns. Edwards went on to roast Masvidal on social media via his Twitter account. Alright, and that brings us to number 5 ranked welterweight contender Gilbert Burns, who has demanded to be the backup fighter for upcoming title bout between champion Leon Edwards and Colby Covington, and also get to face the winner. Following his win over Jorge Masvidal in UFC 287 co-main event on Saturday, he asked to be released by the fight promotion if they opposed. During his post-fight speech, Burns made his demand and stuck with them during the post-fight press conference. UFC President Dana White responded to Burns' ultimatum by granting Burns exactly what he wanted. In his interview, he said, "I love that, and you have got yourself a deal." With the win over Masvidal, Burns, who is now 22-5, is riding a 2-fight win streak, and he has won 9 of his last 11 fights, with his 2 losses being a decision loss to Khamzat Chimaev, a fight which he really didn't have to take, and a TKO loss to former champion Kamaru Usman. Alright, now still on UFC 287, Christian Rodriguez was an afterthought heading into this fight, as it felt more like he was an invited guest to 18-year-old Raul Rosas Jr. coming out party. Rodriguez told reporters Saturday night after his win, I have been an underdog my entire life. I am used to it. I'm used to always being overlooked, being the underdog in certain situations. For myself, I always have something to prove. Tonight was one of those days I knew I had something to prove. While Rosas may have been stronger and may have even possessed more talent, Rodriguez said it was the experience that won the bout. For him, me and him have a similar amount of fights, but I have been training with world-class champions my whole entire life, Rodriguez said. My coach is a world champion, Matt Konsky. He's an all-American wrestler, so I'm used to world champion material. I know how to pace myself for the whole entire fight. Alright, now in just 3 days from now, one of the most exciting talents in African combat sports defends his belt for the very first time against a dangerous and highly experienced returning veteran. At EFC 102, Zico Makengele would defend his title for the first time against Mark Frankenstein Home. Having prepared Dricus du Plessis and Cameron Simon for their spectacular UFC career runs by sharpening their submission skills even further, Home confronts one of the biggest tests of his career to date in the undefeated athletic phenomenon and champion from the Democratic Republic of Congo, the gorilla Zico Makengele. The card also features interesting bouts like JC taking on Kulekani and Shannon Van Tonda taking on Ashley Calvert. A lot of interesting fights to anticipate at the EFC 102 going down this Thursday at the Santon, South Africa. Alright, and that brings us to the end of this new segment. Let us know in the comment section who you think Adesanya should fight next. He's literally run through the entire division. What's next for Israel Adesanya? Let us know in the comment section. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.